show. Gentlemen, who would have thunk that last year, championship games, that those 4 teams would have a combined victory total of 1?
Yeah, and how about the New York Jets? Everybody's blaming the Jets' woes on Vinny Testaverde getting hurt. But this is the first time that I've seen Bill Parcells not put his quarterback in a situation where he could win. Rick Meyer was never allowed to throw the ball down the field. He was never allowed to open up those defenses, and because of that, the Jets lost.
Well, maybe Bill Parcells watched Rick Meyer when he played with the Bears, and that's why he wouldn't let it.
Don't say that.
Let's talk about another quarterback, and that's Randall Cunningham. Remember we were in Minnesota last year, and we were talking to Randall, and he said, it's the first time I've ever played that I didn't have to look over my left shoulder to see whether or not I was going to get hit in the backside. Well, right now he better start looking again because they are not protecting Randall Cunningham. So far, he's been brave. So far, he's stood in there. But you just have to wonder how much longer that's going to last.
A lot of these 4 teams, anybody notice? What are we talking about? Quarterbacks. And you look at Atlanta. Well, that makes you mad. Chris Chandler's not in there all last year. They don't win. They had Steve DeBerg backing them up. Steve DeBerg is now the quarterback coach. How did they help their team? They went out and got Danny Cannell. They can't win if the quarterback's hurt.
Let's talk about quarterbacks. I know John Elway did retire as the quarterback of the Denver Broncos, but John never played on defense.
Oh, good point.
No, they can't stop the running attack, those Denver Broncos. They are ranked 29th in rushing defense. If they don't get that straightened out, there's no way they're going to three-peat.
Hey, a week ago I said if the coach doesn't have the quarterback, he's not a very good coach.
We better not lose Lennon.
No.
We'll all be dead. We'll be out of work.
Save the show.
I'm the only guy I think that really understands you people, and that really frightens me. Hey, while there have been some turnover in the elite teams from last year, one thing remains consistent: the Eagles. Well, the Eagles are the Eagles, but that doesn't stop the fans from singing their praises.
1, 2, 3, hit 'em low! Hit 'em high! Hit 'em high! Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
On their first possession, the Buccaneers marched right down the field, and Trent Dilfer connected with Bert Emanuel for a touchdown. But if you think this signaled an end to Trent's much-publicized problems, I beg to differ. His fumbled snap out of the end zone resulted in a safety. Eagles quarterbacks could find no safety from the clutches of Warren Sapp. Rookie Doug Brzezinski, number 74, seemed to want no part of it.
Have you figured it out? Their offense can't do jack against our defense. They can't do jack, right?
And McNabb is coming in at quarterback. Donovan McNabb is starting the 3rd quarter. And look to the crowd as they see that number 5.
McNabb's athleticism was impressive at first. But with Warren Sapp fighting off double teams like they weren't even there, he didn't stand a chance.
Comes he. Stands tall in the pocket. Stands tall. Oh, he's sacked by Sapp. He's sacked by Sapp. Holy Toledo, big Warren.
This is not the Big East. This is the NFL, and it is tough.
Sapp ended up with 3.5 of Tampa Bay's 9 sacks.
The hat trick, John. Woo! The hat trick, baby.
The Buccaneers finished Philadelphia off with a 74-yard touchdown drive in which all yards were gained by their backfield, Warwick Dunn and Mike Allstott, number 40.
Play action by Dilfer. Gets the pass away. Caught by Allstott in space. To the 10. Allstott to the 5. 3, 2, 1. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Young guys, I think you see how tough it is to get wins on the road. Okay, you got to go, and they're always a fight. But we hung in there for 60 minutes. We got it done. Offensively, moving the ball when we had to. Defensively, keeping them out of the end zone, which is what it's all about.
Bottom line, win, win, win. You win, you ain't got no problems. You lose, so the problems come around.
Kansas City Chiefs had a simple game plan. Part 1 was to play strong defense, and they did just that. By holding the NFL's premier running back Terrell Davis to under 100 yards rushing, the Chiefs were able to turn up the heat on second-time starter Brian Griese.
there. That's Leslie O'Neal.
What'd you get him on? You just ran up and beat him? Excellent.
Hey, 87, you're all up in like a damn deep suit, right?
Taking the B away, he's giving you a real firm set. That's why you hit that B, that'll turn his shoulders, and you're gone in the A.
So he's coming out with his head down on you?
81 did.
And they called it on you?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's keep playing.
Good job, guys. Stay in their grill. Stay in their grill. Come up, he's looking now. He's trying to call. Hey, that's right, nervous.
The left tackle was having a tough day, too, as Derek Thomas beat him to the outside, spiked the ball away from Greasy, and recovered the fumble to set up a field goal and a 6-3 lead. Part one of the game plan was a success.
Hey, until something changes, the posse is Trevor, David, and Neil.
Okay.
Neil.
Hey, he haven't went up top yet now. Hey, he haven't went up top yet.
Play action fake. Gerback to throw on first down. Throwing long. He wants Alexander over the shoulder. Over the 5.
Although Derek Alexander's reception set up the game's first touchdown, part two of the Chiefs' game plan was to run the ball, a plan that led to 142 yards for Kimball Anders. Unfortunately, Anders' best day as a pro was also his worst. An Achilles injury will wipe out the rest of his season. But Anders' performance had paved the way to a Kansas City win.
Right side force is going to be into the end zone. That is a Kansas City touchdown.
The Chiefs' triumph was their 11th straight home opening day win and head coach Gunther Cunningham's first victory. His game plan had worked.
Run it and play defense. Run it and play defense. That's what we got to do. Run it and play defense. I love you. I love you. God, you made me proud.
The last time we played these guys, we had a problem here on Monday night. And I made a speech at that time about we embarrassed the greatest owner in the National Football League, Lamar Hunt. Without any question, you people vindicated yourselves tonight. And the guy that I think would be most appropriate to give Gunther Cunningham the game ball is number 58.
Hey!
Despite an injury to his throwing hand, Brett Favre had tossed 4 TD passes, leading the Packers to a comeback victory in Week 1. But the hottest hand in the NFC Central Division these days belongs to Detroit's second-year quarterback, Charlie Batch.
Batch back to throw. Batch quick throw over the middle. He's got his man breaking free to the 20. Charlie Batch looks over the defense. And Batch takes. He's back to throw off play action. Steps up and wings it over the middle. Wide open. David Sloan to the 50. To the 40. He's to the 30. It's a foot race with Butler to the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown.
Sloan's 14-inch vertical lion leap didn't quite reach the Silverdome faithful. Detroit long snapper Alan Aldridge also failed to reach the stands, but the resultant safety and a Dorsey Levens score put Green Bay in front 15-14. After Levens' touchdown, however, the Lions' special teams atoned.
Good leverage, end over end kick, sailing toward the far side. Fair makes the catch to the 2, to the 5. Cutting right to the 10, he's to the 15. He breaks free, 25-30, 35-40. He's going all the way. He's crossed the 40, 35-30. Cutting him off on the near side of the 15-yard line and riding him down to the 10-yard line is Corey Bradford.
Terry Fair's return set up the game-winning touchdown on a bootleg by Charlie Batch.
Goal inside the 2. 15-14 Packers. And it's a bootleg to the right. Charlie Batch with it. Still with it. And he dives.
Detroit's win was the 6th in their last 7 games versus Green Bay in the Silverdome, and surprisingly left the Lions as the only undefeated team in the division. After almost upsetting the Packers in Week 1, Raiders head coach John Gruden has made Oakland a team to watch. But if there's one player to keep an eye on, it's Vikings receiver Randy Moss. Minnesota took an early lead.
Backs and fires. Oh, it's by Kumpler. Breaks the tackle down to the 5. Touchdown, Vikings.
But But a touchdown pass and touchdown scramble by Rich Gannon helped put the Raiders up 22-10.
And he walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Oakland Raiders.
Jake Reed's touchdown catch pulled the Vikings within 5.
Touchdown, Vikings. Jake Reed. It covers 28 yards.
But ain't it a drag when your team gives up 6 sacks for the first time in 3 years? And ain't it a drag when you've already lost as many games by week 2 as you did all of last regular season?
Well, it's never a drag talking to this guy, the Vikings' future Hall of Famer, Chris Carter. And Chris, you know the story. Everybody's talking about it. The Vikings' record-breaking offense of a year ago is now struggling to score points. What's happening in Minnesota?
Well, I think we're like a lot of other teams. We're trying to make some adjustments with new personnel, new coaching staff, losing Brian Billick and then also losing my good friend Chip Myers, who passed away. I think it's had some type of effect on us, but it all boils down to execution. We just have not executed the first 2 weeks of the season like we did in '98.
Put a percentage on it for me. How much of a difference has it made to this offense and the slow start, the fact that Brian Billick is not there and Ray Sherman is now your coordinator?
Well, I don't know if there's a certain percentage, but I think that we might do 5 to 10% things different. Anytime you're a coordinator, say for instance, if you're a coordinator, I know you're going to have certain things in that you want, given your personality and the things that you want to do. You know, Brian had a passion for scoring. And that's one thing that I think that might be missing right now is, yeah, we want to score. But Brian was devising plays. Brian would come in on a Saturday, and we already had the game plan. And he said, I got a play that I think will work. And he would have the type of enthusiasm that would immediately trickle down to the offense, and we would think that the play would work. And he always wanted to score a bunch of points. 30 points wasn't good enough in his book. And I think eventually, as we try to find our identity in this offense, I think we'll get that personality back.
Well, this week you travel to Green Bay, and here's a team that you embarrassed at Lambeau a season ago. They take their first 3 draft choices and draft defensive backs, a bunch of rookies back there. I bet you can't wait to get to Green Bay and break in some of these young bucks.
Well, I love playing in Lambeau, and it's interesting to see what they've done this offseason. They realize that, their #1 opposition in the NFC is going to be right here in Minnesota. And they did what they had to do. They've had a lot more speed to their secondary. We look forward to playing against them. We hope they play a lot of man-to-man. If they do play man-to-man, we hope that our experience is able to take advantage of their inexperience.
You're a smart guy. Put on your analyst hat now. Tell me why the 4 top teams in the NFL from a season ago have collectively started 1-7 this year.
Well, scheduling is one thing. Anytime you have a team, Denver, they open up the first week at Miami, who right now might be playing the best football. It's early in the season, but might be playing the best football in the NFL. They lose that game. Atlanta, they play us the first game, so somebody's going to lose that game. So it makes it very tough. In Atlanta, the NFL felt so good about them, they're going to send them to Dallas for their second game on a Monday night. In Denver, they have a cakewalk over Kansas City. In Kansas City, their second game. So they go to Kansas City and get upset. But it's possible. And the schedule makers, the way they have it, the teams that finish in upper echelon, they're going to have the toughest schedule. And the NFL has done us no favors this season.
Well, now that you have your rally cap on, I'm sure your luck will completely turn around and this offense will get back on the right track.
We're going to get it turned all the way around.
Be all the way backwards the next time I see you again. Chris,
all the way back to '98.
Chris, as always, thanks for being with us and good luck this week.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
We'll see if that rally cap works for Chris Carter and the Minnesota Vikings as they travel to Lambeau Field to take on the Packers this week. I'm taking Minnesota in this one because unlike the Raiders defense a week ago, this Packers defense just does not have the ability to blitz Randall Cunningham. They don't have the coverage ability with those corners in the secondary. That's why I'm taking the Vikings. What do you say, guys?
Wrong. That's the second week in a row he's listened to a wide receiver. It's going to be the second week in a row he is going to be wrong.
Why would 2 wide receivers talk about anything but throwing the ball deep? They're not talking about how you win the football game. You two may fall out of your chairs right here. Last week, the Vikings, in the last 3 quarters, 6 running plays. That's it. You can't make a big play if that's all you're trying to do.
You know, the Vikings have 3 players on that offensive line that went to the Pro Bowl last year.
They may have gone to the Pro Bowl, but this year they're not picking up the blitz, and for that reason, I'm going with the Packers.
Can't pick up the blitz? Randall Cunningham was sacked 6 times last week. I don't understand the play of Randall McDaniel, the all-pro offensive guard. Now, this guy grudgingly signed a contract, one that he was not happy with, and I think that's one of the reasons why he is not playing up to his standard. I like the Green Bay Packers.
That means he only got $4 or $5 million a year, so that's what I really feel bad for him. But the guy I really do love for Green Bay, Dorsey Levens, over 150 yards rushing last week against Detroit. I saw Tyrone Wheatley just tear up that Minnesota defense. Right. I think you're going to see Dorsey Levens early, then play action passes from Favre to Antonio Freeman. The Pack beats Minnesota.
Antonio Freeman versus cornerback Ramos McDonald, a good matchup for Green Bay. You know, don't look now, folks, but the Packers and Vikings aren't the only challengers for the NFC Central title. Even the Chicago Bears feel they have a shot.
In Chicago, the Bears aim to kick off a season with consecutive wins for the first time since 1992. Helping matters last Sunday were the Seahawks, who booted everything in sight. Cashing in on the Seahawks' mistake, Chicago led by 10 at the half.
Going for the goal line. Touchdown, Bears!
Making up for an offense that gained 27 first-half yards, the Seattle defense kept things close. Down 13 in the fourth quarter, Glenn Foley and the Seahawks attack finally found the end zone. Derek May's score pushed Seattle closer. A bomb to ex-Bear Fabian Bones pulled them ahead. In the final minute, Chicago rallied to set up Brian Goins for a potential game-winning kick.
Snap down, 47-yarder on the way. No, he pulled it to the right, and the Seahawks are going to win this football game.
With the first win of the Mike Holmgren era, Seattle gets a much-needed pick-me-up. This week, they visit the Pittsburgh Steelers, who spent last weekend in Baltimore with the tumbling Ravens. And while the Ravens' pregame festivities fell flat, quarterback Cordell Stewart gave Pittsburgh an early lift. As the Steelers look to make it 5 straight wins over Baltimore, Eric Rhett and the Raven offense kept pace. Replacing an injured Priest Holmes, Rhett rushed for his first 100-yard game since 1995. After tying it at 7, Baltimore claimed control of the game, knocking Cordell Stewart into the Steeler end zone for an apparent safety. Officials ruled that Stewart was hit at the 1-yard line, and as backward momentum can't cause a safety, Pittsburgh kept the ball. Rejuvenated, the Steelers reclaimed the lead on their next drive.
Draw handoff, Huntley trying to turn the left corner, and he gets by a man, 10-5, and gets into the end zone for that Steeler touchdown. What a run by Richard Huntley.
Looking for a spark, Baltimore called on backup quarterback Stoney Case, who led a furious fourth-quarter rally. With time running out, Case fired his first career scoring pass.
Has time throwing down the middle. Touchdown. I'll tell you something, this kid is unbelievable.
After Kadre Ismail's touchdown tied it, Stewart quickly passed Pittsburgh downfield. Troy Edwards' grab set up fellow rookie Chris Brown's field goal try.
The ball is down. The kick by Brown is on its way. That kick is up, and that kick is good.
Coming off a disappointing 1998, Bill Cowher's team is off and running in 99 at 2-0. The Washington Redskins were hopping mad after blowing a 21-point lead in a Week 1 loss to Dallas. Last week in the Meadowlands, they vented their frustrations as Stephen Davis and company stomped the New York Giants.
Davis still on his feet, breaks the tackle, goes to far side. He's going in. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. He goes back looking right, sets up the screen, passing. Picked off by a linebacker at the 35. He's gone. Going all the way to the other end. 71-yard interception return for Sean Barber.
There would be no comeback this time. New York committed 4 turnovers, and Brad Johnson threw for 3 of the Redskins' 6 offensive touchdowns.
Throws it underneath, got to complete the Westbrook at the 10 to the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
After watching New York suffer their worst loss in 33 years, Giant fans hope this isn't the beginning of a defensive downfall.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go, big baby! Let's go, big baby! Woo!
Number 56, Sam Coward, and the Bills' defense were psyched up and determined to turn the Rick Meyer era into the Rick Meyer error. Took away the run, forced Meyer to scramble, and a double team to Bruce Smith made him stand small in the pocket. A pivotal play was a 4th and goal at the 1.
They hand it off to the tailback. He dives in there. No. I don't think he got it. The Bills have a stop.
The Bills' offense was primed by a running game that produced over 200 yards, over 100 by Antoine Smith, and 67 more by quarterback Doug Flutie.
Damn good run, Flutie. Damn good run, baby. Woo!
The competitive, combative Flutie made himself part of every key play.
And back to the left. Antoine Smith gets a break. A block by Flutie. Unbelievable block by Flutie. Flutie put a tremendous block in there to spring him loose.
Yes, sir, baby. Who threw that block? Flutie. Flutie threw that block. Damn good block.
The Elfin Flutie played biggest in the most crucial moments.
And he runs to the right. A run to the 20. Unbelievable. Doug Flutie. What a great play. 15, the 10, the 5. Flutie's in for the touchdown.
The 17-3 defeat was the Jets' second straight to a divisional foe.
Hey, we coming back. We're going to dominate for the rest of the season.
Coming up on Inside the NFL, the 49ers bounce back to defeat a division rival. And we showcase a Chicago tradition between the NFL champs and the college all-stars.
It seems like half the league could use a quarterback or a better backup, someone like Jeff Hostetler. Haas hasn't played since the 1998 preseason because of a knee injury, but he's in shape, he's in demand, and he's won everywhere he's gone. But this summer, his son Tyler needed him more than any football team. Armand Katayan has the story of Jeff Hostetler's greatest victory.
Jeff Hostetler knows full well how painful life in the NFL can be. 15 seasons behind center taught him that, but nothing he has learned compares to the emotional hits. When life hurts, when a football family's life takes a sudden, tragic turn.
I was out taking a walk, heard a frantic call for me, a scream, and I knew something was wrong.
We were
in a state of panic. I think I set a speed record from White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, back here to Morgantown, because we didn't know the whole story.
The story begins in the hills of West Virginia back in mid-June when Hostetler's 8-year-old son Tyler and a friend went riding without permission on a 6-wheel, 1,000-pound all-terrain vehicle.
Tyler was driving. They ended up hitting a post. The thing flipped and landed on top of Tyler.
Tyler had stopped breathing and he had no pulse.
At the hospital, the words no family wants to hear. Tyler was clinging to life. He had fractured several vertebrae in his back and suffered a severe spinal cord injury.
It was devastation, helplessness. You just can't fathom what has happened, and not knowing what's going to happen, where you're going to go from there. It's just overwhelming.
He was pretty much completely paralyzed.
What exactly does that mean? Will he never walk again? Will he never be able to ride a bike, throw a ball, feed himself? After you hear it, it hits you smack in the face, and then it gets worse.
For 8 agonizing days and nights, the family rarely left Tyler's side, watching what little feeling he had in his arms and his legs fade away.
All of a sudden, you saw that toe wiggle a little bit, and this unbelievable day, just an unbelievable day.
When you think of the whole thing, it has to be a miracle.
Tyler's got a long road to go, but at least he's on a road, and he's made I believe too, a miraculous recovery.
Just 3 months after his accident, Tyler is home now. Each day he gets a little better, a little stronger, quarterbacked by a father who never thought twice of leaving his son in favor of football.
To me, there wasn't a choice. It was over and done with just like that. That's it. All right, good job. Good job.
Tyler's recovery was speeded up a great deal because of Jeff's mental toughness.
I wanted to be here because I could get more out of Tyler than the therapist could. And he would respond to me, and seeing the progress that he was making, there was no way I was going to go anywhere.
All right.
I wanted to spend every second of the day with Tyler.
All right. I like it. I like it.
Amazingly, against all odds, Tyler returned for the first day of school. Life in the Hostetler household no longer hurts.
What do you say, Rook? What do you say, Rook?
What's your favorite class?
Math.
You like math? Good for you.
As for his father, the return to the NFL remains a possibility. But for now, nothing, not even a Super Bowl, measures up to victories played out at home.
No matter at what point in my career it would be, my kids would always come first. I look at Tyler and the recovery that he's made and what he's overcome and the struggle that he's gone through and the things that he's given up, nothing compares.
Jeff Hostetler, obviously a guy that has his priorities in the right place. And Nick, really not many people know as much about spinal cord injuries as you do, the great work you do with the Miami Project. Why are we seeing more recoveries like Tyler's now that we really didn't see 15, 20 years ago?
I think the Hostetler family, especially Tyler, was very, very fortunate that the doctors administered a steroid right at the time of injury called methylprednisolone. It's an anti-inflammatory that reduces the swelling around the spinal cord because the swelling does as much damage to the spinal cord as a traumatic injury does. Chris, I think we're going to have a happy ending to this story.
Well, we all hope so. Happy ending there. A great beginning for a couple of teams, Jerry, in the Central Division of the AFC. This week, the Tennessee Titans go down to take on those Jacksonville Jaguars. New-look defense for the Jaguars.
And the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is flying around, and Kevin Hardy's getting a lot of the credit because nobody knows where he's going to be to make the big play. But when you sit down and study the film, it's the defensive tackle, Gary Walker. Played for the Titans last year. Now, this year, he only has to play his third of many plays. He's down to 23 plays, and he gets off the ball. He's putting the pressure on, leads the team in sacks. I'm going with Jacksonville.
Well, that defensive line better be ready to go because Eddie George will be coming after them.
That's right.
The Titans are starting to get great production now out of their wide receivers, Yancey Thigpen and Kevin Dyson, the young man that was drafted ahead of Randy Moss a season ago. But when you're traveling to Jacksonville, you have to be plenty good down there. Not yet. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You know, Jacksonville Jaguars, to me, they look like they're in a comfort zone. They're not taking advantage of Jimmy Smith. Fred Taylor has a hamstring injury, and Keenan McCardle, the other receiver. Now, these wide receivers are catching a lot of passes, but so far this year, not one touchdown pass. I expect this year that this week they're going to go down there in the red zone, hit these guys for a couple of touchdowns, win the game going away.
Finally, Bonacani understands the importance of wide receivers. Well, we all like Jacksonville, but as we'll see in the following highlights, the Titans were pretty impressive last week.
Despite its serene Cumberland riverbank setting, the Titans' new Adelphia Coliseum proved anything but peaceful for Browns rookie quarterback Tim Couch, making his starting debut.
Couch drops back now. He's in the end zone. He's in trouble. He gets sacked. It's a safety.
They came with the corner blitz.
Samari Roll got in there off the corner, and they were all jumping in Couch's face, and all he could do was go down in the end zone.
Couch suffered 7 sacks on the day, 3 by number 90 monster pass rusher Javon Curse. But Couch picked himself off the mat in the second half and made the game closer with the first touchdown pass of his brief pro career.
Play action fake to Kirby. It was a pretty good one. He's going to shoot it long, looking for Johnson in the end zone. He's there, and he's got it!
What a catch by Kevin Johnson! Couch threw that ball about 45 yards, and the only guy that could catch it was Kevin Johnson.
But Titan fans had no need to worry. Neil O'Donnell's toss and Yancey Thigpen's Velcro grab put the game out of reach.
And there, he dives, one-handed catch, touchdown!
Great catch by Yancey Thigpen.
And super rookie Javon Curse, obviously the great catch for the undefeated Titans. Ericsson Stadium set the scene for just the second meeting between these expansion teams born the same year. An unlikely aerial show by the normally moribund Panther attack produced a pair of touchdowns in the space of 2 minutes. Delightfully for the home team, they came at the expense of former coach Don Capers' Jaguar defense.
There it goes. Muhammad's got it. Breaks away down the sideline.
The day's longest play was Steve Berline's 60-yard pass to Muhsin Muhammad.
One man can catch him to the 5, to the end zone. Yeah. Touchdown! What an effort! 60 yards!
However, Jacksonville bounced back on the run. Filling in for injured Fred Taylor, James Stewart put the Jags ahead 22-14.
James Stewart right up the middle. There he goes. He's going to the end zone. He's at the 20. First of speed, 10, 5, touchdown. James Stewart, his second of the game, 44 yards, and his first 100-yard game since last September. He's got 123.
On the following series, George Seifert's offense answered with a score that brought the Panthers to within 2 points of Jacksonville.
Berline back to throw, rolls right. Whoops, throws, touchdown! Wesley Walls in the right corner! Touchdown, Panthers! And now the Panthers must go for 2 points. Jacksonville 22, Panthers 20. 31 seconds on the clock. Berline looks, fires it, ball knocked away from Walls, incomplete, and that's it.
Lonnie March broke it up.
Lonnie March.
The cruel defeat made Seifert 0-2 for the first time in his coaching career, while the impressive Jaguars are 2-0 for the 3rd straight season. After a first week bye, rookie head coach Mike Riley made his debut, and his Chargers, particularly on defense, responded with relish.
Chargers show safety, blitz, and back, and hit, and the ball goes free. The ball is bouncing free and picked up. There goes Dixon. There goes touchdown Chargers. Joe Dixon.
On Junior Seau's blindside sack that caused the fumble, Jeff Blake injured his shoulder. His replacement, the heralded 3rd pick in the draft, Keely Smith, fared no better. San Diego's defense gave the dispirited Bengals a drubbing that held them to only 172 yards of offense and tied a team record with 7 fumbles. Meanwhile, the Chargers piled up 34 points in their most lopsided opener in 15 years. A pair of touchdown passes by Jim Harbaugh sealed Cincinnati's doom. They are 0-2 for the 5th time this decade.
Harbaugh on the give, inside counter. They go by, they make a tackle, touchdown, Naquan Means. Oh, what a nice little
play that was. That was a lovely, lovely play.
The Colts' Peyton Manning marched into Foxborough to face the Patriots. The two teams filled the skies with footballs as Marvin Harrison caught 3 touchdowns in the first half.
Manning takes the snap, looks for the quick throw, now drops, sets up, fires down the sideline to Harrison. He's got it to 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Marvin Harrison! A 42-yard pass.
At the break, New England had allowed 265 yards and trailed by a whopping 28-7. But in the second half, their defense made adjustments, limiting the Colts to just 79 yards, only 5 first downs, and forcing a pair of key turnovers. After the 21-point deficit, New England's offense took control of the game. A cool, collected Drew Bledsoe threw 4 touchdown passes. The key play of the game involved rookie Edgerrin James, who gained over 100 yards for the second straight week.
On a draw to Edgerrin James. Edgerrin James is wrapped up, breaks away. Gets to the 35, fumbles. Patriots have it. Andy Katzenmoyer recovers at the Colt 37. That one came loose, and it couldn't have come at a better time for the Patriots.
The fumble led to the winning point.
9 seconds left. Snap, ball down. Kick is up, and it is right between the sticks. Vinatieri drills a 26-yard field goal. And the Patriots have scored 24 unanswered points here in the second half to take the lead, 31-28.
Well, the Colts blew it last week, and it doesn't get any easier this week as they go on the road to take on a much-improved San Diego Chargers team.
Did you say on the road?
I did.
On the road with the Colts? How could anybody pick the Colts? They've lost 17 out of the last 18 games on the road. How could anybody pick the Colts?
I'll play along. How?
I'll tell you how. Because in the offseason, they went and got Sean King and Chad Bratsky, 2 defensive ends. They'll put all kinds of pressure on Jim Harbaugh, and they'll win the football game on the road.
You're talking about the Colts defense. What about San Diego's
they're
defense?
pretty good.
I thought they were the best in football a season ago. And then you add to the offensive side, Jim Harbaugh, take out Ryan Leaf, who was an absolute joke at quarterback for this team. Very much improved. I'm taking the Chargers.
How can you take the Chargers? How can you take the Chargers? I take the Chargers.
I take the Chargers.
We all take the Chargers, except that strange guy over there. Let's talk about Detroit. Record of 2-0, going to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs, trying to become 3-0 for the first time since 1980, and they're doing it without Barry Sanders.
Yeah, they got big play Charlie Batch, 5 touchdown passes already. He's averaging 32 yards a touchdown pass.
It's tough to throw touchdowns when you're on your back, and with that front four of Derek Thomas, Leslie O'Neal, Chetcher McLaughlin, and Dan Williams, they're going to put so much pressure on that quarterback he won't be able to go downfield.
But there is a weakness in Kansas City. That's in the middle of the field. Johnny Morton, David Sloan, they caught big touchdown passes last week against Green Bay. They'll do it again. I think this is a chance for Detroit to beat them.
Weak down the middle. They got Donnie Edwards, who's as fast as any linebacker in the league. He'll be side by side with that tight end going down there. Kansas City will win.
I like Kansas City also.
Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah, I do like this. Bam Morris is coming in for Kimball Anderson, so give them the running game that they need, and Kansas City will win at home.
I knew I'd finally talk you into it. Hey, some teams like the 2-0 Lions are a surprise, while other 2-0 squads like the Dolphins are taking care of business like they're supposed to.
Yeah, baby! Move it up! Go, baby!
While the Dolphins had no problem inflating themselves for their home opener, the visiting Cardinals look for different ways to keep their offense pumped up. On Sunday, halfback options were actually a sensible alternative to more conventional Cardinal passes.
Come on, Jake, let's go, buddy.
Offset eye in the backfield, wide out each way. Play action, Plummer rolling right. He's looking to the end zone. He fires, intercepted. Zach Thomas picked it off deep in the corner of the end zone.
At times, Dan Marino didn't appear to be playing any smarter than Jake Plummer.
Johnson is the setback. Marino back to throw. Looking to his left, down the middle, intercepted. And on his way is Wadsworth to the 30. Marino threw that ball right to Andre Wadsworth, and the Cardinals will have it on the 21-yard line.
Good awareness. That's a great job of getting that football and staying with it. I love that. Good job.
Marino was intercepted twice in an air-filled game that saw the two teams combine for 8 turnovers. Rob Fredrickson's 34-yard interception return gave the Cardinals a 13-6 second quarter lead.
They don't know which way we coming from, fellas. That's what I'm talking about. Lockdown, fellas, lockdown.
Rob, that's the way to come underneath the thing. Get his ass on the ground, man. When it's wide open, let's get his ass on the ground.
The Cards, however, never sacked Marino, and late in the second quarter, his scoring pass to Troy Drayton tied the game at 13. It would be Miami's only touchdown of the day, as 4 Olindo Mare field goals provided the Dolphins with a 19-16 lead going into the fourth quarter.
We got another quarter of this. We got another quarter of this. That's what we came for now. Come on, guys. This is the kind of thing we like.
The heads-up Cardinal defense kept the Dolphins from pulling away in the final quarter.
That ball caught by McDuffie, and he's on the run down the sideline. He fumbles the ball.
Tommy Bennett does not give up. He strips him of the football. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. What, man? There you go. Ain't gonna sound on us, man. What we talking about, man? Dominate. Let's dominate. All the way through. Fourth quarter, baby. Fourth quarter. That's when we're gonna win this game. The last quarter, fellas.
Unfortunately for the Cardinals, Plummer was ineffective while playing with a sore right thumb. Plummer's 4th interception of the day came in the final seconds and officially killed the Cardinals' last hope.
To the right side, lobbing one deep down the right sideline, and it's intercepted by Brock Marion at the 35. That'll do it.
It wasn't pretty, but the Dolphins survived to go 2-0 while the struggling Cards look to regroup against the 49ers this Monday night. Last Sunday against New Orleans, the 49ers were eager to put an abysmal Week 1 performance behind them, but the Saints did their best to snap San Francisco's 17-game home winning streak.
Poole makes the catch, turns on Newsom, goes right up the middle of the field. He's got him beat.
New Orleans forged ahead on Keith Poole's 58-yard touchdown and a score by wideout Lawrence Dawsey, who until this game had been out of football since 1996.
Throw it in the corner. It's caught by Dawsey for the touchdown.
With his team down by 7, Steve Young found Jerry Rice on 4th and 12, but the pass was initially ruled incomplete. The 49ers challenged the call, and instant replay gave San Francisco new life when the challenge was upheld. 3 plays later, Terrell Owens scored.
Out to the left. Young wants to throw. Fade pattern. End zone. Leaping for it. Owens.
The 49ers had been 19-3 when Owens caught a touchdown pass. The defense made it 20-3.
Shoulders at the 40. He's back to the 50. He's down to the 40. Makes the cut. Down the sideline. He's got room. Touchdown. 49ers.
Having narrowly escaped an 0-2 start, Young and the 49ers head to Arizona for their Monday night showdown this week. Last Monday, Emmitt Smith and the Cowboys faced off against Atlanta in a game that would prove disastrous for the Falcons' premier running back. On his 3rd carry of the game, Jamal Anderson was lost for the season with a torn ACL in his right knee.
When you're the Atlanta Falcons and you face losing Jamal Anderson, hearts just stopped in Georgia.
Meanwhile, in Texas, hearts swelled with pride as Smith moved into 4th place on the all-time rushing list.
He's got the corner turn, the goal line, a word to the defenders looking over his shoulder. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
Number 22 totaled 108 yards and scored twice.
To the goal line, touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
A batted pass intercepted and returned by defensive end Greg Ellis finished off the Falcons.
Intercepted, Greg Ellis running right to the 40. He beats Canal, and he's paving all the way. Greg Ellis to the 20. Greg Ellis, touchdown. And he has just brought this puppy back 87 yards.
The Cowboys can celebrate their 2-0 start for 2 weeks since they have a bye this Sunday.
The Cowboys have remained fairly healthy this year, but other teams need their bye week to recuperate, as we'll find out in this week's Inside Update. We told you last week about the incentive-laden contract of the Saints' Ricky Williams. Well, Williams suffered a hyperextended elbow and couldn't even dress himself earlier this week. Good news for Saint fans, however, as Williams has regained some movement in that elbow and was able to take off the cast and sling. Mike Ditka even feels that Ricky will be able to go on October 3rd against the Bears. The Saints have a bye this week. Stoney Case will start at quarterback for Brian Billick's Baltimore Ravens, replacing the ineffective Scott Mitchell. Bengals will most likely turn to rookie Achilles Smith at quarterback. Coach Bruce Kozlitz says that there is only a 25% chance Jeff Blake will be ready after injuring his shoulder. And the Falcons finally have some good news. It appears Chris Chandler's hamstring injury is fit enough to start against St. Louis on Sunday. Now for some more inside information, let's go to Lynn Dawson and Gary Myers.
Chris, thank you very much. Gary, I thought we were through talking about Barry Sanders, but his father got into the act this week and says, Barry, you should go back and play with the Detroit Lions. Is there any chance of that happening?
Well, Lenny, I spoke with David Ware this week, who's one of Sanders' agents, and he said even though after those comments were made, Barry Sanders told him he has absolutely no intention of ever playing for the Detroit Lions under any circumstances. And because the Lions, of course, have said they have no intention of ever trading Sanders, unless somebody flinches here, Barry Sanders will not be playing football this season.
Somehow I feel this is not the end of that story. Let's talk about another running back important to his team, Jamal Anderson of the Atlanta Falcons. He was a holdout this summer. In week 2, he was injured, out for the season. And Dan Reeves was asked if there was any connection.
Seems like when guys hold out, they come back in and have the injuries. That's the tough part.
Gary, you talked to Coach Reeves. What was his reaction?
Well, then, the perception has been that those comments were kind of cold. But, I asked Reeves about it, and he said, in no way can you link the holdout and the injury. How would you ever know anything like that? And besides the fact, he said, if he thought there was a strong possibility that the holdout could lead to an injury, they never would have given Anderson a $7.5 million signing bonus. And besides the fact, Anderson did report on August 11th, a full month before the season started.
Very good point. No team wants to be the first to lose to the Cleveland Browns, and in particular, Art Modell really doesn't want to lose to the Browns, right?
No, in fact, the Ravens play the Browns Sunday in Baltimore, and it will be the first time that Odell has seen the Browns in person since October the 29th, 1995, which was a week before he announced he was moving the Browns to Baltimore. I spoke to him on Thursday. Uncharacteristically, Lenny, he had nothing to say. He did not want to express his feelings about playing the Browns. Might be he doesn't want to fire up the fans in Cleveland because in November the Ravens have to play there, a game that he has absolutely no intention of attending because he's never going back to Cleveland again.
Let's talk about Steve Young. He's been getting hammered. Are the 49ers concerned about this?
Very much so. General Manager Bill Walsh says that there's no way that Young can make it through the season if he continues to take this pounding. And he said the 49ers have decided on a major reshuffling of their offensive line. There'll be 3 changes for their game Monday night in Phoenix. The biggest is Jeremy Newberry, the right tackle, who protects Young's blind side, had a tough game against the Saints last week. He will be benched. Right guard Derek Deese moved out to right tackle.
All right, let's talk about the Super Bowl champs. They're off to an 0-2 start. What about Shanahan? How's he handling that?
Well, the word out of Denver, Shanahan says 0-2 start by the Jets last year. They wound up at the conference championship game. But the word out of Denver is they're really missing the confidence and leadership of John Elway, and someone needs to step up.
There's a lot to leadership. Gary, thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Okay, Lynn.
Chris, let's go back to you.
Thanks, Lenny. No defending Super Bowl champion has ever started out 0-3 in a non-strike year, something the Broncos are hoping to keep intact. However, many NFL champions have lost to a team of college all-stars. In this week's NFL Storybook, Kurt Gowdy looks back at a Chicago tradition that began in 1934.
Soldier Field, Chicago, August 31st, 1934. A tradition is born, the first annual College All-Star Game. 79,000 fans bought tickets for charity to see if the country's best graduating seniors could hold their own against the defending NFL champs. And hold their own they did, battling the Chicago Bears to a scoreless tie.
I played in 5 of those. In one of those All-Star games, I played against a fellow who became president, Bruce Ford. He was the center on the All-Star team. Of course, we played a 5'9" line, and I played right in front of him.
Did he suspect that the young man from Michigan would grow up to become president?
If it would, I wouldn't have been hitting him on the head so much.
Slingin' Sammy Baugh led the All-Stars to their first win in 1937. In 1950, quarterback Eddie LeBaron and running back Charlie Choo-Choo Justice led an inspired all-star performance to defeat the two-time defending champion Philadelphia Eagles. The win ended a period during which the Collegians won or tied nearly half of all the games played in the series. But all that was about to change. In 1951, quarterback Otto Graham passed the Cleveland Browns to a decisive 33-0 win.
Paul Brown and his preparation for the game really made everybody on the Browns feel that the college all-stars had a good chance to win that game, and we had to really prepare. You don't want to be the pro team that gets beat by a group of college players.
It would happen only 3 more times in 25 years. Ironically, when Bobby Mitchell ran through the Detroit Lions to victory in 1958, his head coach was the man who started the All-Stars decline.
I learned very quickly that the pros weren't that much better than the All-Stars. If you could organize the All-Star linemen were just as big, just as strong, just as fast, just as quick. And if you had a good quarterback and some good defensive backs, then you'd have a good chance to win the ball game.
That's precisely what the All-Stars had in '63. The year quarterback Ron Vanderkellen and wide receiver Pat Richter combined for this game winner against Vince Lombardi's Green Bay Packers.
Coach Lombardi was absolutely livid. He was embarrassed, and he made life unbearable for the next 2 weeks after that. Hot shots, beat by a bunch of rinky-dinky college kids, blap, 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 and he just wouldn't let up.
It was the last time the All-Stars won. By the time a monsoon washed away the 1976 edition, the college All-Star game was history. Gone, but not forgotten.
I'm sure there's other ways to raise funds for those charities without getting a bunch of college guys screamed.
We always made it close. We hardly seldom ever got beat badly.
I just thought it was a real honor to get to have a chance to play in it.
Pain in the ass, the All-Star games, they really were. So there's a whole spectrum of experiences there with the college All-Star game, but most of them are fondly remembered.
College All-Star game, I played for both sides. I really enjoyed it. What about your experience?
Well, I was supposed to play in 2 of them, but in the eminent wisdom of the NFL Player Association, they decided to go on strike that year. I lost a paycheck.
Hey, they told me it's in the mail, so you just hold your horses.
Still bitter.
Let's take a look and see how we fared last week. Whoa!
Oh,
Jerry Glendale
10 and
on top.
5.
Congratulations, Jerry, but for the season, Nick enjoys a 2-game lead. Earlier in the show, we picked several games. Now it's time to pick the rest. Even without Jamal Anderson, Jerry and Chris like the Falcons to beat the Rams. Nick and I like St. Louis. Cincinnati plays at Carolina. We like George Seifert to get his first win as a Panthers head coach. Cleveland would love to get their first win against Art Modell's Ravens, but we think Baltimore will prevail at home. Philadelphia travels to Buffalo. We all like the Bills and their improved running game. Washington scored 50 points at Giant Stadium last weekend. They go back there Sunday to face the Jets. We all like the Redskins. And the Giants get Jason Sehorn back finally, but it won't be enough to defend against Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots. Now for the rest of the games in more detail. Chicago at Oakland. The Raiders are coming off their biggest victory since moving back to Oakland in 1995. Jerry, give us your wisdom. Who do you like?
I like the Raiders' offensive line. Earlier, Nick talked about Tyrone Wheatley. He's going to be running behind that offensive line, make a long day for the Bears. And on defense, nobody can block Grady Jackson. Raiders in a big win.
I like the Raiders as well. Rich Gannon last week had more yards rushing than did the Minnesota Vikings team. Finally, some mobility at quarterback. I like Oakland.
You know, the Bears against the Chiefs in their first game fooled them with all those multiple formations with 3 tight ends on one side, 3 wide receivers on other occasions. They won't fool Oakland. I like the Raiders.
You know, Charles Woodson will go up against Curtis Conway. Conway, the big threat downfield for the Chicago Bears. He won't get it off. Woodson will dominate. I like Oakland.
Denver traveling to Tampa Bay. Ryan Greasy gets another start, Chris.
You know, Trent Dilfer was actually better last week against Philadelphia. That's not saying a whole lot, but he was better. But I really think there's more pressure on him when he plays at home and the Boo Birds come out. I'm taking Denver.
You know, Denver's offense has not been able to generate much of anything running game or in the passing game. They haven't been able to protect the passer. And Tampa Bay's strength, their defense. I like Tampa Bay.
You know, Lenny, you talked about the defense of Denver early. Now they have John Mobley. He's out with a torn ACL. Bill Romanowski, the leader on defense, only 5 tackles in 2 games. All said and done will dominate. I like Tampa Bay.
Well, on Wednesday, I was at Tampa Bay's practice, and I watched the defense of Tampa Bay, probably the best one out there. They'll always play good. They need Trent Dilfer to do one thing, throw the deep ball. I believe he'll complete it on Dale Carter. Tampa Bay wins.
We got Seattle at Pittsburgh. Steelers 2-0 with 2 road wins. Seattle's offensive line, folks, has given up 12 sacks so far. John Kintna back at quarterback. He can expect to see a lot of Steelers with him. I like Pittsburgh.
You know, I think Paul Allen, the owner of the Seattle Seahawks, has to get involved in the negotiations with Joey Galloway. They can't beat good teams without him. I like Pittsburgh.
You like Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh because Seattle's special teams, every single game they make a big mistake. And I look at that Seattle offense. We had it overrated. Only 27 yards last week at halftime. They'll get beat again.
Well, when you play against Seattle and that great pass rush from Michael Sinclair, your quarterback has to be able to play on the move. Well, Cordell Stewart is better on the move. I like Pittsburgh.
We got San Francisco at Arizona. 49ers quarterback Steve Young sacked 9 times in the first 2 games.
You know something? Steve Young has only converted 3 out of 25 third-down situations. They are 27th on offense. I would never think that could happen. I am taking Arizona.
Arizona? Wow, there's something wrong with y'all. Steve Young won't let the 49ers fold. They want to fold. He won't let them. Brian Young will come in and help him. He played a little bit last week, still healthy. He's going to play most of the game. 49ers win another one.
Steve Young might fold in this one after he gets knocked down like he did in that last one. I like the Arizona Cardinals. Their secondary matches up very well with these 49ers receivers.
You know, the 49ers have no running game. That means they're going to have to throw. Arizona last week intercepted 2 of Dan Marino's passes. And Arizona has a cornerback by the name of Aeneas Williams. He's as good as any in the National Football League. I like Arizona as well. Well, that's our show for this week. Remember, Inside the NFL premieres each Thursday evening at 11 p.m. If you miss any part of it, you can catch it again Fridays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 11 a.m. So, for Nick, Chris, and Jerry, I'm Len Dawson saying thanks for watching the show the pros watch, Inside the NFL. This Saturday at 9:45 p.m., see the controversial replay of the welterweight championship between Oscar De La Hoya and Felix Trinidad. Also, former lightweight champion Sugar Shane Mosley makes his welterweight debut against Wilfredo Rivera. Coming in November, the documentary Howard Cosell, Telling It Like It Is. Tune in for a revealing look at the sportscaster who revolutionized his industry.
Oscar De La Hoya had a master plan to give Felix Trinidad a boxing lesson. In the beginning, he did. But in the end, Trinidad took charge and foiled the Golden Boy's tactics.
Trinidad lands a hard right to the body.
See what happened. Plus, former lightweight champ Sugar Shane Mosley moves up 2 weight classes as he battles the rugged welterweight Wilfredo Rivera. It all happens Saturday night, 9:45 on HBO. The heart and soul of boxing.
Next on HBO, real sex is always a good thing, but when it's the best, well, it's even better. A Real Sex Extra, best of real sex. Next on HBO.
Born to be a soldier. Trained to be a killer. Get him, man! But like all technology,
Sir!
destined to become obsolete.
I was replaced. More endurance, quick responses, better hand-eye. It's a whole different standard.
Half human. All hero. Kurt Russell. Soldier. Premieres Saturday night at 8 on HBO. I'm going to kill them all.
A corpse tells the secrets of a bizarre lover. A suicide victim reveals the truth behind her brutal murder. And a severed hand unearths a voodoo curse.
In an all-new Autopsy 6, Secrets of the Dead. From the Emmy-winning America Undercover series. Premieres Saturday, October 2nd.
Who says dead men don't tell tales?
There are all sorts of guilty pleasures. One of them is the Guilty Pleasure movie. Fridays on HBO.
I deal with death every day.
We don't negotiate with terrorists.
He's done some crazy things.
You're insane.
But this one's the craziest.
I got the power, I got the satellites, I got the stealth.
And no one's ever caught him.
That was close.
Or this movie.
You can't hit what you can't see.
Until now, Ice-T.